Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is part two of a two-part recap. If you're wondering where part one was, well, go check in the feed and be sure to subscribe so that way you always get your episodes. But enough of that. Let's get right back into the episode.
Every time we talk about him, you get tense. Well, I do because like it's still my husband. She's like, well, and Marcel's like, yeah, still our husband. I really helped out there, huh? So Stephanie's like, she's like, it really annoys me that Alexia lets Todd get away with anything that he says, like wants and does, and Todd like wants to have his cake and eat it too. Like he doesn't even give her a Birkin bag. I mean, I'm just saying that she gets very catty and very attitudey when you bring him up, and it's just like, it's like too much.
Oh, really? Like, why are you so obsessed with Todd? Like, she doesn't even know Todd. You want to talk? You want me to start talking about Masood? You want me to start talking about Masood? Because I can talk about Masood, which she will. And, there's a lot to talk about there on the Reddit. So I can't wait till because, Alexia already has a folder this thick. Marisol and Alexia are not going to let someone come on this show without a full folder on their asses. So she's like, wait a minute, what episode is this? Because I'm supposed to wait till about episode 9. So
yeah. The bottom is going to fall out for sure for Masood. And we all know it's going to happen. It's so funny because with Stephanie, she really is so obnoxious because she doesn't know Alexia well enough to sit down and start weighing in and saying these things. Like she's still way too new, both as like a friend and as a cast member. So she's definitely being really rude right now. But everything she's saying, I'm co-signing with. I'm like, everything she's saying, I'm like, yeah, exactly. And I love that she doesn't like cower to the hierarchy of the show. She's like, no, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to say it to you. And when you like try to say that I'm full of myself, I really don't care. I'm still going to say like, this guy is bad for you. So I really like that she's fearless, but she is admittedly obnoxious too.
Well, I think she's trying to be a good girlfriend, like in her defense, I think she's trying to be like a girlfriend and be like, no, girl, you got this. Be strong against that man. Like you just had a narcissist, because that's what they're all doing, right? And Alexia had them all at a dinner and was like, no, you guys need to tell me. And like, you need to like protect me from Todd. And like I said, when I try to go back to him, don't let me go back to him. Like we already had that whole thing. I mean, Stephanie wasn't there, but I think she's trying to be a good girlfriend and be like, no, you got this, girl. But there's a time like when the girl is going through the bad problem with a guy, that's when you're like, no, you need to get rid of him. How can I help you get out of this situation? But when they're in a good place, you can never say anything like that because you'll be turned against. I mean, come on, Stephanie. And you can tell Stephanie doesn't have any girlfriends because she doesn't know those. She doesn't know any of those like little idiosyncrasies. She doesn't know how.
And actually, that's what I like about her. I feel like her confrontation is very authentic. I don't feel like it's like, there's that school of Real Housewives or reality stars that are on like the Brandi Glanville or like Noella or whatever. I can't think of other examples, but we know them. The people who are kind of like big and they're going to stir the pot and they're always going to push buttons and they're going to be brash and in your face. And a lot of times you can just see they are really trying to have like a reality TV moment. And like, yes, I'm sure Stephanie is trying to have a moment, but I also feel like this is actually authentically how she would react in this situation too, which is why I think I'd like her more than I thought I would, considering how obnoxious that she is.
Yeah, my only thing really against Stephanie right now is that she's not as funny as everybody else. But I'm going to, maybe she just needs more time to warm up. You know what I mean?
No, she's not funny. Well, she's funny. No, her attacks are funny, I think, but her confessionals are not funny.
Yeah, she's just not grabbed me yet. But I'm not necessarily a hater or a lover. I'm just like, I'm a fence sitter. I'm on the fence. So now it's really awkward. So Gertie takes the stage and she gives a speech about, cancer showed me I'm not always in control. And then I controlled cancer. Guess who works for me now? Cancer. Cancer is my secretary. I now support cancer just because it's my employee. We're like families. This is taking a weird turn.
I'm giving it benefits. It's gone in ways I didn't expect, but it's my choice. It's my party. And I just had an MRI and the MRI results came back and I am 100% that bitch that wore a bracelet in the MRI and I shredded half my arm off, but whatever.
So they all cheer and Julie's like, I've been this with Marina. I'm like, oh, Martina. Okay, let's not have cancer wars right now. And she's like, but it's not easy journey. So I'm very proud of my friend. So Gertie continues and she gives props to her family and she literally gives Russell his flowers and he comes up and he kisses her and she introduces her sons. And, it's all sweet. And she's talking about how until I beat breast cancer, I didn't know how to redefine my life. But now I will be true to my emotions. And we should all be, by the way. So if you're going to be happy, If you're going to laugh, smile. If you're going to be sad, cry. If you're going to be mad, let it out. Thank you for coming. By the way, this is part 1. This is only part 1. So stay tuned. Stay tuned.
If you're going to publicly shame someone, if they're going to publicly shame someone, shame them. Now note that you all clapped for that. So just remember that you clapped.
I died when she said, "Don't worry, this is only part 1. So stick around. Stick around." Okay, I'm going to send my family. I'm going to send my family home now. So she sends the family home, and then you're like, "Uh-oh, this is where she's going to."
Then
this is where she's going to give it to him.
Yeah, exactly. Once she sent her kids home, because they have to show it, because there are people like me that are like that already saw the teaser and then know that the kids are there and are like, what in tarnation is about to happen? And they show her sending the kids home, and no one realizes that something is brewing. So there's more chit chat. And Kiki's like, by the way, you weren't at the gala last night. She's like, how is that my best friend's birthday likes? And Stephanie's like, oh yeah, the gala was so nice. Everybody got along, unlike your party. It became a little crazy. And she's like, well, you mean Alexia's party? She's like, oh yeah, the narcissist party. Yeah. Like, I call it the Todd party because she can't take me telling her that the event was for Todd. I mean, it's fine. It was, and Lexi's like,
I can take it. I can take it, but I'm not going to agree with you because the party was not for Todd. It was not for Todd.
Okay, the event wasn't for him. Let me please clear that fact. Okay. Carmen, you're here. The event was not for Todd.
Okay.
It was inspired by Todd.
Oh, you know why? You know why? Because Todd is a Greek god. That's why.
Okay,
that's why it was inspired by Todd.
Delusional. Now you're delusional.
That's why.
You're delusional.
So then Gertie gets back on the mic and she's tapping. It's like, hello. I would like to introduce a special performer. But before I do so, I would like to shed some clarity on a situation that has cast a cloud on some of my friendships, relationships, and my character. Please pretend I'm not reading from a card right now. And the women are looking around at each other. And so she's like, as these ladies know, an incident happened a few weeks back. I was willing to forgive and move forward because the water was filtered. Okay? It was filtered water. So I can move on. But then last week, it became clear to me that this person chose to continue to perpetuate the matter even more. So tonight, I feel that it is necessary for me to set the record straight by telling the truth and exposing the lies. Tell
me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. Wasn't she reading this off of her phone? Was she reading?
Yeah, I think she was. Or cards. It was one of the two things. She's like a prepared speech.
Yeah, she really acted like, but the way, as we're about to see, she really acted like she decided to whip this up last second, and this is clear, like so blatantly planned. I mean, so now all of a sudden we see Julia and Gertie's text exchange. It's on the screen, and Adriana's like, "Oh no, look!" And everyone's like, "Oh my god." Text messages, tense text messages. Did you take any screenshots of them? Because I did not. But I was like,
no, but we are lucky because our note taker certainly did. Nadine, you're a goddess. Thank you. So here's the text. Gertie, I'll figure it out. Julia, just got back to the room. It's Sandy's party. I had no control over the list. I guess changes were made when Martina canceled. I am sorry. Are you well taken care of? And Gertie says, to be honest, I was a little taken aback that I was moved to the side for this exclusive party. If I'm supposed to come in as Martina's replacement, I should have been extended the invitation as a courtesy, especially when I'm leaving the kids and my husband at home to be next to you as your guest. I'm sure you had no control over it.
So I think that's a perfectly reasonable response by Gertie, who is a Bravo star, who should not have been sidelined. And Julia should have advocated and been like, you have to find a seat for my friend. Otherwise, I'm not coming to this. I'm going to be with my friend. Like, I still think it's really shitty that Julia sided with like a Captain Sandy dinner, like a dinner instead of the friend that she asked to come on the cruise. Like, you have to stick with you. Just like if Gertie had said, listen, honestly, don't worry about it. Go to the dinner. I'm going to go have a meal somewhere else. It's really not that big of a deal. Then fine. But like clearly Gertie was upset that she was like was kicked to the side. I think this was shitty of Julia.
Well, it's also kind of sick. It's also kind of shitty of Captain Sandy's people to be like, okay, well, Julia, you can come, but your guest can't because it's not Martina. So they're not famous enough. So they're kicked off now. You have to tell them to go somewhere else. Like, no, you're still going to use my social cred or whatever for pictures and whatever else. So I don't know. I think it's Shitty. So then they continue, and Gertie's like, well, considering that I was just trying to be supportive as a friend to you, I was not even in on the reservation for this restaurant that you guys put me at. They're squeezing me in, and I'll be okay. But know that I would never let anyone do that to my friend who showed up for me. And Julia says, I didn't coordinate dinner. All I am thinking about this weekend is Martina's condition. I thought you wanted to be here and would enjoy being here. Otherwise, I would never have suggested to join me and leave your kids and wrestle. I am sorry you're upset, but this is a work weekend and this wasn't done on purpose or to offend you.
I know, and that's why I said yesterday when I saw you and redacted coordinating network opportunities that you would be okay without me there. Anyway, I'm a big girl. All good here, even though it's not good at all. And I'm just saying that the way I pushed hard to make sure, for example, Adriana wasn't left alone and got her into this thing, blah, 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 blah. So there's some parts that are like redacted from the text that they blur out. So I don't know. I still think that like this is shitty. So then everyone's watching and it's like, and Gertie tells the audience, the goal from this is not to prove who is right or wrong, but to show that Julia is a terrible, terrible friend, and we're going to clear things up so there's no more doubt that no one should ever hang out with Julia. Thank you very much.
Okay, but another thing is that there's nothing in these texts that we don't know. So Gertie has worked this up to be this huge like gotcha moment, but there's really nothing here. I still, even after reading these, because I hadn't read them before right now, I don't see what the big deal about these texts. There's nothing in there. What are you trying to prove? I don't get it. On Watch What Happens, Gertie was on Watch What Happens, and she was getting slammed in the votes. The votes were like, were Gertie's messages messy or whatever, and the other option. And of course she lost. It was like 87% against her. And she was like, whatever. And her explanation was, Andy was like, well, what were you trying to prove? I don't get it. And she said, well, I was trying, because, Julia said that I was begging her to come on this trip, and I did not. I was there to be there for her. And these proved that I was just there to be there as a friend. So gotcha. I still don't see where the gotcha is. So I don't see where the gotcha is. And I also don't see why any of this is so offensive to the ladies.
Well, I mean, I see why it's offensive, which is that it's supposed to be a night for like celebrating cancer. And then you made it about this petty, text message exchange. And it just felt like, I felt like a manipulation of, you got us all here under the pretense of us caring about something that's like very important to you and has affected a lot of our lives with lots of our family members. And you actually just were, that was a MacGuffin. You were just doing that to actually settle a score, or that's how it came off. And I just felt like it felt icky because, it should be about.
Okay. I can see that. But
so I think that's where it's from. And, that's basically.
But I also think that this cast, just a few weeks ago, Julia made a huge scene at Marisol's wedding party. 100%. And that wasn't a big deal. Nobody gave a shit. And then she threw water on Gertie. Was it that at the same party? That was at the same party.
Yeah, that was the same party.
Wedding. That was a wedding event, and that wasn't the place for that. And nobody walked out or made Julia.
And they should have.
And they weren't so offended over that. And that was way more egregious. And Gertie's defense for this was like, well, I had the cancer party, and then I sent my family home, and then we had the after party, and I did it at the after party. so
after party.
In her mind, that's how she separated it. I mean, listen, I thought it was, I didn't think it was the classiest thing ever. I just don't think the ladies have the right. They don't have the leg to stand on in Valley terms after the way that they've acted towards Gertie this season and responded to things that have happened towards Gertie. I mean, listen, I think she just got fed up and she was like, fine, you want to be immature and play stupid games with me? I can do it back with you.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it. I watched it. And I thought it was, I was like, this is amazing TV. I was cringing. I did think this may not have been the best place to do this at your like cancer celebration, celebrating people who survived cancer. But I 100% agree that the cast, like what Julia did at the wedding, was like really mortifying and embarrassing, and it happened at a wedding, and it just was like, and no one really reacted, and everyone was basically acting like Gertie did something as bad as Julia did that night, and she didn't. And there was a really strong microaggressive tone to that entire moment. And then here It's like they are all appalled. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be appalled or grossed out by this, but I'm saying you need to keep that same energy for the other things,
right.
you know?
Keep it
or
fair.
don't be appalled. Or don't be appalled, because I think one of the reasons why they weren't appalled was in their mind, they're probably thinking with the wedding, they're like, this would be a great scene for our show. This is hilarious. But for this one, it's like, you should also not.
Well, I think it's deeper than that. I think that Marcel and Alexa from the beginning of the season were coming for Gertie. They got Julia on their side. They were like, she's too loud. She's too this. She's too extra. And so that's what Julia came out and started parroting this whole season. You're too much. You're too loud. You're too extra. That's why she has to keep going around saying, okay, I'm not yelling right now. I'm not being extra. I'm going to say this very calmly. You know, so they've got her in this kind of corner where they keep calling her aggressive and extra. And so when the thing happened against her, they were rooting for it. They're like, good. Julia's telling her off and telling her she's too much and she's too extra and throwing water at her. So they were on the side of that villainy.
They were, yeah.
So now she's standing up to Julia. So they're being like little soldiers, and they're like, oh, look how aggressive Gertie is. So once I finally saw these texts, I mean, if there was something horrible in there, like if she was saying something private about Martina, or there was something horrible and scandalous in these texts, that would be one thing. But these are just petty scheduling texts.
Right. But I think the other reason why they were acting horrified is because they had it in their mind, and they even say it in about 2 seconds now, that like, like if Gertie does this to Julia, she could do this to all of us, and all of our stuff that we text, like nothing is safe. So they're scared. But
it's already not, because they're using texts against each other all the time. I mean, we've got like Lisa, the fight is like Lisa was friends with, Lisa's boyfriend did an Instagram with somebody else's friend. And they're like, oh, yeah, you want to talk about the text? What about what you texted me? I mean, we've had whole storylines on here.
But there's having texts displayed in public versus, I don't know, I think being blindsided with text versus like back and forth in the confessionals. I don't know. I think it probably hits different. And I think that ultimately they're scared, and they're like, oh shit, if she's going to do that to Julia, she could do it to all of us. And they're like, we can't stand for this. We cannot stand that, our text could be put in public in front of our peers, in front of our loved ones. I agree with you. Just so you know, I agree.
Knows. Anyone who's been on Bravo, but especially any Real Housewife knows, and any person who watches Real Housewives knows, any text can be used against you. Write it, say it, forget it, write it, regret it. Okay. It's like a very famous term that comes from Dorinda. I mean, it doesn't. For Housewives people, it comes from Dorinda on this show. But we all know that your text can be used against you.
You know what it was?
Show. We've seen them printed out and carded out many times. So if they're so shocked, then they are stupid and they need to watch Housewives more.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
You know what it is? It's almost like I'm just trying to drill down into where the differences in these situations are, because I think we are total agreement about everything in terms of being on Gertie's side, and that there's a total double standard, yada yada. But I think what it is like, I think they're all prepared for texts to come out at reunions and for texts to come out in confessionals. But I think the idea of text messages or like recordings or things like that being used without consent in like a public forum in a scene to be able to build a whole big scene during the show, that's like somehow feels more violating than the other ones. And like that is where like the line is for the reality stars. And like, again, you have Shannon Bedore who's freaking out at Katie Janela for doing a voice memo of when Shannon's having a meltdown and acting poorly, and she's freaking out when Shannon is like freaks out all the time on camera. So you would think like, well, she's just being recorded by someone else. But it's like there's some weird pact with these reality stars of like what is proper behavior and what is improper, like what's on limits, what's off limits. And the lines are always moving. But it's fascinating to me like why certain forms of surveillance are totally acceptable and others are like horrifying.
I feel like it just comes down to who they like and they don't like. Like they don't like Gertie, so they're going to make this the biggest deal ever. It's like you have on the Valley right now, the whole situation with Danny, who did a really horrible, stupid, gross, perverted thing. and the way that they're using that, and they're so up in arms and offended, but then they were fine when Danny was pantsed by Jax. No one cared about that. Like when they exposed his genitals on that show, or in the same episode when Jesse was wasted and he gave Kristen a titty twister. You know, it's like, well, why is one thing assault and the other thing's not assault? Like they don't like.
Yeah, bias is 100%
part of that. You know, they're going to come for Danny because they don't like him, but they like Jesse and Jack, so they're not going to come for them for that thing. And so I think it's just like these ladies are showing their ass. You know, their react. I don't think what Gertie did was right, but I think that they're showing their ass by overreacting to this degree.
Because if they can hang their hat on something, if you give them something where they're like, oh, we can be righteously indignant about something,
right?
Then we will.
That's what's getting me is the righteous indignation for sure.
Because also, don't forget, Gertie got to have a whole season. Last year, she got to have a whole season where they couldn't be mad at her because she had cancer and she's going through cancer, and she really got to have her way. And you know, they were just like just sitting there like so annoyed. They're like, oh, she can just do whatever she wants because she has cancer, and meanwhile, we just have to sit here and take it. You know, that's what they're thinking.
So dark, and now, and it's just so true.
It's dark and true. And now they're like, okay, well, she's over it. She had her season, so we're gonna come for her again because she's annoying us. Because by the way, let's also like, I love Gertie. But let's act like, let's not also keep acting like Gertie is like the easiest person to have a conversation with. I mean, she really does talk over like very, very intensely and incessantly. It doesn't mean that they call her aggressive and too extra and too loud, which is where the microaggressions really come in. But I think it is probably hard to have a conversation with Gertie.
Well, but my problem with that is the people accusing her of that are Alexia. You can't have a conversation with that woman.
Have a conversation.
She's constantly nodding and talking and saying no, talk. So it's like but the problem isn't the crime that they're talking about. It's the person that's bringing the crime to the police. You know what I mean? Because they're just as bad. They're fucking hypocrites, and that's what's making me crazy this whole fucking week on Bravo. It made me crazy in the Valley, and it's making me crazy here. It's not saying the people that are in trouble didn't do anything. It's just the reactions to them are so hypocritical. Makes me nuts.
Absolutely. God, I love this show. So
I do too. But all this conversation that we just had, like taking it so seriously, I was laughing my ass off watching this. I love every second of it. I laughed my ass off at the whole watch what happens and all of Gertie's explanations. I was cracking up at too.
So funny. Like, yeah, we just got very, very serious. But the truth was, watching it, like, it was not a serious moment. To me, it was like, this is hilarious and awkward and cringy and all the things, and they couldn't deal with it.
The best part, she goes, everyone's so offended, and Marisol's like, I'm leaving, I can't stay here, this is disgusting during a camp. So they're all getting their panties in a wad or whatever, and meanwhile Gertie goes, okay, well, now that the truth is out in the open, let's celebrate as I present to you Rocky Lanes. And then she makes this act come out and like
Rocky
do
Lanes.
this weird
Cirque du
Soleil dance all over each other. And she's like, okay, have fun performing. Like, Jesus, no way to warm up the crowd, lady.
I know. Oh God. So everyone is like, oh my God. So 36, then it says 36 minutes earlier. And so now we see the origin story for this scene. So we see Marisol pulls Julia, and Marisol's like, well, I saw that Russell's here. And then we go to Gertie sitting with Russell in the green room, and Gertie's like, so did you and Julia talk? And he's like, yeah, she thinks you guys are making progress. How could she think that we're making progress when at the Grecian party for Alexia, she did exactly what we said we were no longer going to do? Let's do another flashback within the flashback. It's Inception, everyone.
And Julia did do that. You know, we see the flashback to the party where Julia's like, hello, Mr. Very handsome narcissist leader person. Please take off your shirt. Okay. Now tell me, when somebody tells you something very painful and hurtful that hurt you deep in the heart, what is your recommendation? How to move forward with the person named Gertie? It's like, I thought we were supposed to be made up, but then the second you get in front of your little fucking friends and you have to be their minion, you come for me publicly again.
Yep, exactly. And she's, I feel like honesty at this point in time, because she took it back there, and I feel like I have no other choice but to really let the truth be had. I'm telling you right now, Russell, I am tired of giving grace. I am gonna be a new person. I'm gonna redefine myself to be, and that means I'm going to not gonna take their shit lying down anymore. We're going to teach her a little lesson, and this is a totally impromptu choice I'm going to make right now. Nothing has been prepared.
So she's like, oh, I hate projection operator, come here. I hate to do this to you, but I texted you something. And when I say this word, set it up for me. When they go low, you go high. And sometimes when they go low, you go lower. And she does her eye makeup. It's so dramatic. I was like, what? I wish we had seen this before so we could be like, oh my God, what is about to come up on the screen? It's going to be insane.
I know. Also, I feel like it's so funny. Like ever since Michelle Obama said that thing, everyone's been sort of subtly rebutting it. They're like, yeah, or you just go lower. Like no one has ever been like, we are going to go higher. It's like,
well, I think for the lower. 4 years, like she said that in a different time. And then it just politically, everything went so low that it's like,
when it seemed like there still was the potential to go high.
At some point, that's no longer an option.
Yeah. Again, watch South Park last night and you'll know that when they go low, you go lower definitely is the new mantra.
Yeah. Okay. So so Lars is like, oh my God, that was like crazy. Like, why are we doing that? Like, this is like not cool. Like, I don't like that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, so Gertie comes out and Lisa's like, I'm like at a loss for words. And like, that's not hard for me because I know like 5. So, and the producer says,
words I do remember. Yeah. Here's some words I do remember. You're a narcissist. I'm a narcissist. You're a narcissist.
Good one, monkey. Good one, monkey. You're the real tone of this crew, monkey. So this is where the producer tells Gertie, like, what's the smoking gun here? And she said, well, the fact that she said, she's pretending I wanted to volunteer myself to go on this cruise, but I physically walked out of. That's crazy. That is crazy. So, then we see a flashback, but Julia had said on camera, well, she volunteered to come with me in Martinez Place to support me. So she never like begged to come on this cruise. She agreed to,
Right. And Gertie is like, because she even says, I thought you wanted to be here and I thought we would have enjoyed being here. Otherwise, I would never have suggested that you join me and leave your kids at Russell behind. These texts show that I didn't beg my way onto the cruise I just left from. She asked me to because she was distraught. So Lars is like, you're going to do this in front of everybody? I don't like this. I started to read the text message, but it was so long. Like, once I got to the second sentence, I was like, what are we doing? The text message is this long? There's not even emoji in it. The fact that she's exploding text messages in front of strangers, like people that don't even know our friendships, she's not even charging them. That's pretty low.
I was cracking up at this too, because this is so Larsa. She's like so indignantly mad and she has no reason. She doesn't even know why, because she can't read anything that's more than 2 words. She's like, I started to read it, but like, wow, it's like so long, like I couldn't like even read it. So I'm just going to be like mad. You didn't even know what the text message said.
I know. She just knows that there were text messages and that.
Very Kyle Richards coded. She's like, I'm not reading that. That was too long. That was way too long. So Carmen's like, wow, that came out of nowhere. And Stephanie's like, rule number 1, you never send text messages because they save every single one of them. Yep.
Yep. And Alexia's like, oh, I hate texting. I'm the one who picks up the phone and tells you whatever it is I have to tell you. Okay, so guess what, Gertie? Especially now, I'm not going to be texting you, especially not in front of Frankie, and I'm not going to be having any texting the girls.
So Gertie's like, well, I promised we were not going to talk about anything in public. We were going to squash it and move forward. And at the Grecian party, she raised her hand and yeah, honey. So that's what I did. So Lisa's like, wow, note to self, don't fuck with her. Am I right? That was like a public shaming. It's like that TV show with that shame. That show. What was that show? Family Guy. There's like a lady walking. What is it? Little House on the Prairie. What is it?
Sale of the Century. What was it called?
Game of Thrones. Yeah. It was like the Game of Thrones. You don't watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah, there's no way Lisa watched Game of Thrones. She would not be able to follow that.
Why is everyone so dirty?
Dragon. Why are they a dragon?
Why do they have such big dogs? So Marisol's like, nasty setup wrapped around cancer. Oh my God. And so Marisol's like, oh God, take me to the loony bin. El Chapo had it right. Underground tunnel. I want to escape.
Wow. You know what I would like? An underground colon that's clean like my own, so I can just climb right through it and get out of here. Am I right? Oh God, I don't want to be here anymore. And so then she's like, it's so fucking gross. I'm sorry. I can't be here anymore. Maris, I got Gertie. I gotta go. I don't like this. I'm leaving. She's like, okay, that's fine. That's whatever. It's caught on camera. We're done here. Like, no, it's awful. You know what? Have an open heart. Have an open heart tonight. Okay.
And Alexi's like, I have an open heart. I have an open heart. It's like the most open heart. Like no one here has like a more open heart than me. So, okay, whatever. My most open heart is leaving.
Empath.
Okay. Empath. Bye.
Yeah. I'm an empath. So Julia's going to leave also. And, so then Adriana was like, well, she was upset that you asked a question with the guy. I mean, tried to talk to her. She's like, I don't want to talk to her. So then Gertie's thrilled. She's taking pictures. She's posing with the thing that's like, in my me era, which, by the way, they're all in, if I seem to.
Is there any other era? So Larsa, Marisol, Alexia, and Julia all leave very, very upset, and they stand outside and gather around talking about how offended they are by this. These moral, upstanding, pillars of society are just very upset. So Alexia's like, she was just crying over cancer. And Stephanie says, yeah, my mom's a cancer survivor. You don't take your cancer lightly like that. And Adriana's like, different people do different things, okay? So
because Adriana is mad at Julia because Julia's hanging out with Alexia. So now Adriana's like, I'm friends with Julia, yes, but I'm also friends with Gertie. And my position in this matter is to listen to both sides and then try to bring them back together. Which is a year ago she would have gone out with Julia, but now she's like, well, she's saying, if you want to be friends with Alexia, be friends with Alexia and see how she consoles you, because I'm not coming out there to do it because you've already abandoned me.
Yeah, Marisol's like, wow, God, this is like the movie Carrie. Remember Carrie when they dumped blood on her? That's what I felt sitting like there. That's how my colon felt today. It was just sitting there, was invited to prom, then boom, you've got a finger touching you. You've got all sorts of liquids pouring all over. Someone's calling you a Nissan Juke out of nowhere.
Remember when they spilled blood on El Chapo's head? I mean, really, and he was climbing through that colon with the blood he had. Really mixing all my metaphors. I'm throwing a lot out there at the people today. So then, Gertie is like, well, that was a slap on the wrist to say, don't fuck with me. That's all it was. And Adriana's like, no, you have the right. You have the right to say it. She goes, thank you. Because she needs to learn a lesson. Because she manipulates people. She does the Betty Boop act. She does the whole, oh, I'm Julia Betty Boop. And then everyone is like, oh, look at Betty Boop. I never knew Betty Boop was Russian. And then she fucking stabs you in the back.
Betty Boopkas. I should call her Betty Boopkas. So then Stephanie goes out to where the other ladies are outside. And Alexia's like, oh, my God, I hope she doesn't come out here. She better not come out here because my heart is so open right now. And Stephanie's like, listen, I'm just going to stay neutral. But I think, it was wrong, Marisol, and it was that was rude. But like at the same time, like I want to hear both sides. And and Alexia's like, oh, really? You want to come from one side to the other and you want to stand your ground? Okay, then if you want to be neutral, then go in there and kiss Gertie's ass then. Because that is very this show. Like if you're not with Alexia and Marisol, they will ice you. They will ice you. And I don't think it's ever been said out loud like this. So I liked it.
How could you say that? Alexia is an empath with an open heart. I can't believe you would say such things, Ronnie.
So Stephanie's like, Alexia, calm down. I'm just saying there's a difference between kissing someone's ass and hearing both sides. And she's like, oh, really? No, because like you have to come here, you have to go there. So like if you have to go there, then you go there. But if you're out here, you're out here. So you decide where you're going to be.
That's not what I'm doing. It's not what I'm doing. Okay. I'm not kissing anyone's. Yeah, no, I'm not kissing anyone's ass.
Neutral.
You need to fucking shut the fuck up because I'm tired of you barking at me because you sit next to me. Okay. I'm tired. I'm trying to understand the friend group. I am new to this and I just want to be neutral. And what's wrong with being neutral? What's wrong with being Switzerland? Maybe this is your room. Maybe because you're married to a crazy guy that made you think that this is your norm. Okay. That's not my norm.
Don't say that. My colon can't take it. You leave me and my husband out of this because if your marriage was so great, you wouldn't be part of this shit show. Okay. You want to talk about Masood? You want to talk about Masood? Okay. Let's keep it that way. Let's keep it that way then.
Don't tell me that I'm kissing anyone's ass.
Don't make it about you.
Okay. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're very sensitive. This is why I don't get along with sensitive people, because you want to sit there and you want to be sensitive. Like it doesn't work because I'm not sensitive because everyone's always getting their panties in such a bunch. Like a bunch of them. Let's go on. Like, let's move on. Huh.
So then Kiki's like, oh my God, I just experienced a whole World War II outside. Like Stephanie and Alexia going to kill each other. Like, what's going on? Like, I can't even focus. Like, everyone's on 10 out there. Like, speak some tongues.
And meanwhile, outside, Stephanie's like, Alexia, you have to be careful with how you speak to me sometimes.
Don't come for me every single time you're next to me when we talk about Todd. Okay.
All I said about Todd was that party was rooted from the idea of Todd, and I will never bring up Todd again.
So Julia is leaving a voice note for Yeah, exactly. So Julia leaves a voice note for Todd. She's or for Martina. She's like,
I'm on my way home. Please don't fall asleep. I'll be home soon, my love. I'll be home soon. Goodbye, my love. God bless you.
Julia's really playing it up.
I will never recover from text messages that had nothing in them incriminating were put up on the screen. Yes.
It was so horrible seeing pretty standard back and forth text messages trying to clarify a situation up on screen.
So now Alexia and Stephanie are still going at it. And Alexia's like, oh, we don't want to talk about our husbands. And she's like, oh, well, I don't want to talk about husbands either. I'm just saying I'm not kissing someone's ass. Listen to me. And Lars is like, we expected to like come to like church to like celebrate Gertie in like a church. Like, I've never been in a church.
Oh my God. Oh my God. We're in a church. God, I can't believe we're in a church with El Chapo's tunnels with Carrie's blood all over the place and my clean colon sucking everything up.
I just like did like a foot video for my OnlyFans content right there in that little sink.
Oh my God, that's the holy water. This man.
Alexia goes, what denomination is this church? I have to know how outraged I have to be.
So Stephanie is like, do I think you're too good for Todd? Yes. Does it matter to you? No. Okay. So I never want to hurt your feelings about Todd. I will never bring him up again. And so she's like, okay, then. I appreciate it. So they made up. So this is where I was kind of started swinging towards Stephanie's side a little bit. Cause I was like, she didn't cower. She didn't run away.
Exactly.
She didn't make it a huge deal. And you can tell that she's had fights with people a lot to where she's like, just calm down. Okay.
Yeah, she's like, I'm telling you what I think, and like you're getting mad at me, I will get mad also, and then we'll settle down. But like, I there was something about the way she handled it that I really, really enjoyed. So then Adriana goes outside. There's so much going inside and outside, but Adriana's outside now. And Adriana's like, no, I don't like the stuff like that. But everyone leaving is not cool either. And Marisol's like, well, this is so humiliating. I mean, right in front of El Chapo. I mean, God, all that blood everywhere. It's the most horrible thing I've seen in my life. So Adriana goes to check in with Julia.
Yeah, Adriana comes out and she's like, no, go in there and show your text messages then. She's like,
no, I will not stoop.
So Adriana's
I will not
advice.
She goes, no, but you have to, you know the truth, you know her truth, and she's telling you her truth, so don't run, and she's like, I'm not running, but I have nothing to say to Gertie and nothing to justify.
Adriana being like, no, go back in there and be petty, show your text messages. That's so 100% how Adriana operates. Like, well, this is an opportunity for you.
And then inside, Gertie's like, I'm a warrior, honey, and I'm going to release what no longer serves me. And when shit goes down, I'm going to cry, I'm going to laugh, I'm going to freaking scream, I'm going to put up posters of text messages. I don't care. And you know what? It's my me era, period. End of story. It's my party, and I can do whatever I want.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was so good. I just was like, it's so wonderful. I love it. I love it. I love it. People should be watching. And I know that if you got this far in the recap, you most likely are watching the show. I know there are some people who just listen to us without watching the shows, and that's great too. But you really should watch this show because it's so excellent. It's so entertaining. It's so great.
Yes. Love you, Miami. Thanks for being here, everybody. We will talk to you next time.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors.
Ain't no thing like Allison King.
It's always a party on Allison Block.
Our way is the Amber way.
It's the Foster and the Furious. It's Amanda Foster.
She can run my country. It's Angie McGovern.
It's always automatic with Ashley Otto. Put your hands together for Carly Clapp.
Get on the right foot with Chrissy Offit.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Etchels.
We never miss her call. It's Diane Call.
Erin McNicholas. She don't miss no trickolas.
Hava Nagila Weber.
You'll never hide from Heidi Eleanor Jones.
I go, you go, we all go for Hugo.
Jamie. She has no last namey.
She's our kind of mess. It's Jennifer Messer.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's our favorite streamer, Caroline Peacock.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
Get a bee in your bonnet with Lacey B. K Sarah, whatever will be, will Lauren Silsby.
Bringing the funk, it's Leslie Plunkett.
She gets an A from us. It's Lindsay D.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
Fresh as a daisy, it's Maisie McKinnery. We love her on the rocks. It's Melissa Cox.
Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
This is Livin' with Michelle Vivian.
I love ya, Olivia Williamson. Tastier than Flanderson, it's Rachel Manderson.
She sure is swell. It's Raquel.
Yes, we canna, it's Savannah.
Cast a spell with Shannon Spellman.
Let's share with Sharon Eldridge.
Darn Skippy, it's Tippy.
The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
She's VVIP, it's Amanda V. Can't lose when you're with Amy Baldwin.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Let's go into the woods with Guy Tubbs. It's our queen, it's Queen Laifah.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. Hail the Cork Master, the Master of the Cork, Jennifer Corcoran. We got our wish, it's Jen Plish. She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
Knock, knock, knocking on Katie Manock's door.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley.
In the study with a candlestick, it's Leslie Peacock. We're Ride or Die for Lisa Ryder Barron.
She's a whiz, it's Liz Sarthy.
Always killing it, it's Lola Alkalani.
The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
She eases our woes, it's Melissa St. Rose. There's a chance of meatballs, it's Rebecca Cloud.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke.
We cannot tell a lie, it's Sarah Telefson.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony.
Please don't stop, it's Soli and Pop.
Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
It's always a good time when you're wasting time with Bravo.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.